human immunodeficiency virus, most commonly known as HIV. It is believed that HIV jumped from apes to humans, spreading the virus slowly across America and later into other parts of the world. We know that the virus has existed in the United States already for decades. HIV is one of the most deadly diseases in the world due to its fast spread. HIV has been present since the 80s, and somehow we still cannot do anything to reduce the spread. The world is being affected by this, especially teenagers, where we're living in a world in which we need sex in order to be happy. The same reason teenagers keep having an uncontrolled sex life. HIV is very common among teenagers, and they don't realize the horrible consequences that come along with the virus. When did you find out you were HIV positive?
It was May of 2010. I got in a car wreck, and they took me to the trauma center at United Medical Center. This woman from Lafayette Care Center actually came in, told me that I was HIV positive.
How did you get it transmitted?
Unprotected sex. I fooled around with quite a few people, so it happens.
What was the impact of HIV on your family?
My family, when they first found out, obviously they were crying, they were scared, because back in the 80s, if you had it, you died. So medication wasn't what it was now. So they were like, oh, you're gonna die at 30 and blah, blah, blah. And I understand it, but I mean, they've gotten used to it now. I mean, they just asked me, do I take my meds, and that's it. So with time, everything resolves.
How did HIV affect your social life?
People are mean. And I will say that with a lot of love. Okay. I mean, everyone tries to blame the game of pointing fingers like it was you who did this or blah, blah, blah. And being that I'm so honest about my HIV, I tell everybody I have it all over my Facebook. Some people will want to blame you when you really didn't do anything. Like, well, I didn't sleep with you. How could I have? So you become a target. It's really ugly. But then there's some who understand what it is, and they become very empathetic because they know the education of what we go through and the stigma.
What would be your advice for all the people out there who will be watching this video?
Well, for those who are HIV positive, I would say don't be ashamed of it, because I think that's the power people have on it, that they make you feel bad about having it. So there's this sense of like putting you in a hole and that you're bad and you're wrong. I mean, it's just like any other illness. I mean, people deal with illnesses all the time. Now, to those who are not positive, I would just say be a little bit realistic with the people you handle, because if you've, for example, slept with like 30 people and you think like, oh, it's this person, it's like you need to be sensitive, because your behavior is what determines, what happens to you. So I feel like people just need to be more sensitive, because one of these days it could be them.
The most common symptoms are flu-like feeling, fever, sore throat, swollen lymph glands, mouth or genital ulcer, bad headache, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, cough, and shortness of breath, chronic fatigue, night sweats, muscle aches, joint pain, unusual lesions on the tongue, skin rashes, and bumps. But be careful, sometimes symptoms may not be presented right away. They are presented until your immune system has a lot of damage. The amount of infected people with HIV in the world is increasing every day. Every 9.5 minutes, someone in the US is infected with HIV. We encourage everybody that is watching this documentary to get tested and practice safe sex.